Welcome back to Cookies and Milk episode 66. I'm your host, William.
I'm your host, Ben.
We're having just normal Oreos again.
Yep, Oreos as per the usual at this point. There were a bunch of cookies up there, but the Oreos were open, so I was like, let's just do that.
I guess. So today, my topic, was modding in video games and how that impacts the gaming market itself and how it should be handled.
My topic were crossovers and achievement hunting.
Because currently, I am trying to platinum One Piece Pirate Warriors 3, and I'm currently I'm on the last one. I'm on the last one, and it's 100% of the gallery. And in order to do that, I need to max everyone's crew level, which means I have to use everyone in combat until they reach level 5, even the unplayable characters.
So yeah, support.
Yeah, I got it, and I can't choose who is supporting me. I just have to go in there. Sure, there are Dream Course or Dream Log islands that give me a guaranteed ally character, but I'm trying to complete the Nightmare Log right now, so I'm going from island to island.
So, modding has always had a sort of weird place in the gaming community.
Yeah.
It's like DLC, but it's free.
That's true.
Except when it's not free, which is how it's been on consoles recently.
Well, what do you mean? Do you have to pay for it on Skyrim?
I'm not even sure. It's just like, a lot of times it got brought up, and then it was like, mods are here, and it was like, you can buy them, and it was like...
That doesn't sound right for PS3. I mean, the Skyrim.
I haven't been keeping up with Skyrim because why would I do that?
Well, okay, so I think Bethesda's one of the companies that figured out mod potential first.
Right.
Maybe not first, but
the
really
games were so big, people wanted to really
mod them, and they released creation packs. I think also Valve with Gmod, also, but you can't do a lot with that system. You can do, you can do a lot from a first-person standpoint.
Right. There's a lot in Gmod, and unless you know what you're getting into, it's, like, real steep.
Yeah. I think the same is said for Skyrim, too.
Yeah. But the mods have always... Bethesda knows how to market it better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if they don't know how to market it. I don't know, we could be just talking out of our asses here. We grew up in a different generation. By the time we were really starting to get into video games, Half-Life existed, for sure.
Yeah.
Team Fortress existed, Gmod existed, but those were always like the big PC games.
Yeah, and we didn't have a PC to run them on.
And we were getting into consoles. And when we finally did start getting into PCs, it was like, oh, well, let's just get like Skyrim and the Fallouts and the Bethesdas on the PC.
Yeah.
Look at these mods, you can do amazing
things. We
things.
never got any of the Fallouts. I just got Skyrim. You got nothing.
You make it hard to have a conversation with you about this thing. Speaking of last episode, I'm calling you out.
What was I doing?
So last episode we had that entire conversation. I was like, I'm sort of apprehensive about Mega Man 11 because of the style of it, and I'm just like, it's hard to trust. And then you were like, that's ridiculous. Why would you be, you're just like talking out your dick. You have no reason to
I did not say talking out your dick.
You didn't.
I would never say that.
And then we got to the end of the episode, and you were like, I'm not actually that excited. I don't like Mega Man games that much. And it was like, what the fuck? I was like, I actively said in that episode, I want to go back and play every single Mega Man game.
I get that.
And you were like, But then you fought me on being apprehensive about Mega Man 11. As if you were... And then, that's what it was too. You were like, had Mega Man 11 come out and been 8-bit again, I would have been bored. I would have been like zero interest in it. And then it was like, mildly interested in Mega Man 11. And it was like, alright, buddy.
I guess, I get what you're saying. I guess that's fair. In this, I have no reason to go one side or the other when I'm very center of the field.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes for, like, a conversation, but you were so, like...
I dropped it immediately.
You were so on the side.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of what I said, you were like, nope, bad. And then we got to the end of it, and you're like, not actually that big a fan. But I'm trying to describe, because there's unquestionably Gmod is one of the greatest creations.
You're talking out your
ever.
dick.
I am
right?
talking out my dick. Let me do it for a second.
Jesus Christ. Oh my.
Sound.
No.
Gmod is unquestionably one of the greatest creation sources because people did like absurd things with it. But it was like a tool of a different generation.
Yeah.
Now the hit new thing, people still use Gmod.
Definitely.
But like the hit new thing is like Bethesda mods.
I mean,
People mod everything.
yeah.
But like,
I'll say, because, you know why? Because it's the easiest way to make a story without making a full game.
yeah. You can do like amazing things, and
You
people
can-
do amazing things.
You can make whole new, like, editions. You can make a whole new game. You can get voice actors. You can write books in the world.
That's sort of the thing that happens. So there's a big thing about paid mods, and people don't want to do it. People
Yeah.
don't want to pay for mods because you can get a bunch of mods for free, anyways. But there's like definitely something to that. Not all paid mods obviously aren't there mods where you can get like add apples to the game, like more apples, which
Yeah.
is like a. And it's like, why would you pay for that when entire fucking story mode arcs exist where they add in 6 followers and a bunch of voice lines of dialogue
Yeah.
for free?
So, the way I feel like the ones who make the mods see it is that they're making it for the community. Also for exposure. Because they're probably up and coming like software developers and stuff like that.
If you
This
just
is
put that online,
yeah, you put
you
that
got
on
a
your
resume.
I don't know. People who make fuck mods feel that way.
I put that on a resume.
Huh? I don't know about.
You get
that.
hired fucking by the Nier developer, and people love you for it? Question mark?
Huh?
Question mark?
What?
Lead guy of Nier Automata says he wants to fuck 2B, and that's
Oh, yeah.
fine.
2B and the old 2B. People think it's fine.
That's what
there's a I guess there's a charmingness about being blunt about it. And if people who like that, I'm not saying not everyone liked that type
yeah,
of
obviously, but it was like, I frequent Tumblr of all places.
thing. And people were like,
You think
oh, that's crazy.
I saw a post on there the other day, and it was like,
You got like someone on here.
and it was like, he's transcended giving a fuck.
That's not it.
And I was like, he was just like, it's like, why does she have high heels in design? And he's like, I just really like girls. And it's like, he's the hero we deserve. And that post was on my dash, like, unironically, I was like, you gotta fucking understand, dude. This is skeevy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, he's transcended giving a fuck. You know what else is transcended giving a fuck? That weird dude at the bar
Yeah.
who throws comments at people as they're passing by. That's not
Really
good.
talks out his dick.
He really talks out his dick.
Talking out of your dick is the title of this episode, I think.
I guess.
So crass, though.
Yeah. Are we allowed to swear on YouTube?
This is a really... Yeah, like making... Yeah. The person who made Nier was talking out of his dick when he talked about that.
He is talking. It's like,
But he's real quiet now, yeah?
I don't know.
I mean, probably because Nier Automata is no longer, like, in the limelight, in
Right.
the spotlight.
I'm so glad I didn't win any Game of the Year awards.
Oh, you don't like it?
No, it's fine, but we have to set a standard for ourselves in the game community where we can't be like, hey, if your developer is out there asking for, like, zip files of porn of your character, that's weird. That's not normal.
He made a character that fit his fetish, and then he put it out there and is like, now, hey guys.
If a man talked to you about his fetish in the first place, if you're sitting down and you're like having a fun conversation with somebody at the bar and you're hitting it off, and he's like, by the way, really the feet stuff,
I would laugh at that.
Like,
I would laugh at that.
well, I mean, it'd be funny, but
Really? This conversation is over, but thank you for the laugh.
this conversation got better. But the conversation.
Hold on. How many, like...
I gave a bad example.
What if yeah, you gave a really bad example. Like, what if he kept doing that until he found a person who's like, yeah, dude, same here.
I guess that's how
And he
speed dating
found
worked.
it. The 2B guy found it.
He got really lucky.
He sat at the bar, and
He
the
got
bar
so
bought him a bunch of drinks.
He's all. Oh my god! I don't know how to explain this. This is not an okay thing for a human being to do. Why is this is like a reverse world? I feel like I stumbled into a nonsense dimension.
Man, it's 2017. Anything can happen.
It might as well happen at this point. It's like
But no one's seeing it as a bad thing. I mean, some people are.
that's what blows my mind about this. It's like what's his
Surprise, surprise, we're not on the topics we're talking about.
What's the I modded this in. I modded an ass mod in the.
Aw.
What's the fucking? What's the guy who did Kill Bill? What's his? Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino, he is a foot guy.
Yeah, if he like posted on Twitter about how much he loves feet.
We would be like, yeah, we know, Quentin. You put in all of your movies.
I know, but it'd be weird.
I guess.
It would be weird.
I mean, saying it flatly, yeah.
But Yoko Taro wanting to get a zip drive of
You knew his name?
porn. I know his. Of course, I know his fucking name.
So why did you just say the designer of Nier?
Because that would. Had I said Yoko Taro, you would have been like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Yoko Taro, the designer of Nier. You could say that.
More syllables.
And then you could just keep saying Yoko Taro and I wouldn't have to stop you.
You didn't have to stop me in the first place. You could have connected the
I
dots.
didn't have to stop you. So Yoko Taro has done, like, Drakengard,
Yeah.
all this, and this is the first time?
I mean, it's one of those things. So here's the thing. Yoko Taro being like, hey, I really like looking at ladies. And everybody, that's the exact same example of Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, shit.
It always comes back to feet.
Why did my laptop get unplugged? Did they say laptop?
I don't know. So whereas Quentin Tarantino was like, if he came out and was like, hey, guys, I really like feet, you'd be like, we know Quentin.
I would be like that.
You would say that in the interview.
In the interview?
You're interviewing him. And then, so, Drakengard, if you just look at the character designs, and if you look at fucking...
Oh, wait. No, this isn't the charger. This is
What
my
is
old.
that?
This is my old laptop's charger. How did I not notice that before?
If you just looked at Kaine's design in Nier, you'd be like, I know Yoko Taro.
I'm gonna just
Yoko
go check
Taro?
real quick.
Fucking...
Do you know the name or not?
I feel like you called me on it, and now I don't know anymore.
Yeah, it's charging. Then it doesn't matter.
It's weird.
I guess it does matter. Yeah, it is weird.
It's a weird state. It's a weird place for video games to be.
What if Miyamoto came on to the Twitter sphere and said, "Hey guys,
my fetish is when people take their hats off.
show me pictures of Mario's nose."
So I feel like we're in a place
Huh?
here. If Quentin Tarantino came out and was like, "Hey guys, are like feet," we'd be like, "We know." But the thing is, that's weird.
Yeah.
When Yoko Taro's just like, "I just like looking at girls," people are like, "That's just how people are." I like looking at girls too, dude. I was gonna beat it to 2B anyways.
Oh my god.
I was gonna 2B it.
We gotta stop doing that.
So the fact that Yoko Taro's doing it too, it's okay. It's a blessing from God.
I mean,
Check me.
hey,
What?
so you can talk out your
I
dick.
got your dick.
I suppose. I mean, when someone is like, he dropped a depth charge, and he hit all of those people, all of the people that play Nier Automata would probably like that. I mean, I know the people from Outside Extra really like Nier Automata, and I don't think they'd be like that.
It's unquestioned, and that's the biggest thing about this. Were it a weird titty game that could fall to the wayside, it'd be one thing.
But it's Nier Automata.
But Nier Automata, and everything I've heard of it, and what I've seen of it, it looks very good.
Uh-huh.
I unquestionably think if you are a huge Nier Automata fanboy, please skip to this part of the episode where I say how legitimately excited I am to play it, because it looks amazing. It looks like it's got a bunch of really cool stuff going on, and I'm desperately trying to avoid any spoilers because it looks like the story is going to be really good.
You know, I haven't seen anything of Nier Automata spoilers.
Yeah.
Like, I've just watched videos, like, from Outside Extra, because they really like Nier Automata. And, that's as much as I've gotten from the game. And it's not much.
I know it's like 5 playthroughs, and I'm expecting it to be a lot like Nier Nier is
Oh,
with its playthroughs and stuff. And man, it's gonna probably feel so good to play Nier Automata after trudging through Nier.
so
So, talking about the modding community,
do you think Hideki Kamiya has done this?
Um,
He's another
a little bit.
Oh yeah,
A little bit of it. There was the glasses conversation
yeah.
in Bayonetta, and he was like, they were like, we gotta take the glasses off. And he was like, the glasses aren't coming off.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I got it, Kamiya, I know your type. And that's a little bit weird. Kamiya's a little bit weird. But,
I mean,
if
that's just how Japanese developers are.
racist.
Not really. I mean, I could, there are Western developers and there's Eastern developers. And it's not like there's a different mindset from Japanese game developers. And that's fine. Part of me wants to live in a world where I can read a magazine and get information on what's coming up in Treasure Cruise. Because they have that in Japan.
They just have magazines?
They have that!
Jesus.
Because that's what,
Mobile games are just bigger there.
Yeah, and Japan is a lot smaller. Sometimes I do wish that America wasn't as big as it was.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, of course.
people can go anywhere and everywhere. And it's great. I just need a smaller community.
I would love a world, I would love a country where I'm not, dictated by the
Everyone
entire
else
population.
everywhere.
Even though at the same time, I guess I would like that. I would like the
suppose.
popular vote to matter in my goddamn country.
Okay,
Abolish the
so...
Electoral College.
Yeah.
2018.
So, at some point, though, you would just become... I mean, I can't say this is the same thing for Japan. You just become a statistic in America. It's so big.
Yeah.
Uh,
You're not even a statistic. You're a 0.001%.
when people campaign in America, they want so bad to connect with the common man, to see someone in the... on the street they're campaigning and be like, hey,
I'm here for you.
how's it going? I'm here for you. Because you don't get that feeling. Normally,
Yeah.
you see someone being speaking on a podium. You see them making updates from the White House or something like that in their office.
Yeah, one of the biggest things about America is you never feel like, oh, they're not talking to me.
Yeah.
They're talking to everybody else. And
Yeah.
then people thought that about Trump, even though,
Yeah.
I obviously wasn't talking to you. You dumb?
He was talking to his friends, his billionaire friends.
Yeah. He stands up for me. He's a billionaire, dude. Why don't you show us tax forms, man? It's that easy.
Yeah. Okay, this is a weird
Yeah, we got
topic to have gotten into.
But I understand I think I sort of understand what you're saying about, this comes back to Nier Automata, right?
Just Japanese developers. Because it's
Yeah, they're
because Japanese developers make games for Japanese players,
yeah.
and they have a much smaller base to market to.
Yeah,
So-
I think it is. I think I see what you're saying too, and it's because it's exactly what you're saying here that doesn't translate that well into us Western developers.
Yeah.
Because when the big companies trying to be like, "Hey, we're gamers just like you guys," time for an epic loot
It doesn't
drop,
feel like it.
it doesn't feel like you're talking.
And then when Miyamoto gets on stage with a sword and shield, it's a breath of fresh air.
yeah, that's like
It's a breath of the wild.
That's like, oh yeah, dude, he's just doing his thing up there.
He just enjoys it.
Yeah, he's
He
just
doesn't
making
feel
video
like
games to
he's-
make video games.
He doesn't feel like he's phoning it in.
It was the same thing. You remember the Yarny game, the Unraveled?
We loved the developer because he was just enjoying himself.
He was just like, "Hey guys, I made a game.
Yeah.
You guys want to play my game?"
I really want you to enjoy my game.
It's the same thing that gets people about Kickstarter so often.
Yeah?
Because in order to make a Kickstarter, you have to make a pitch about your game.
And the two people that come to my mind is Mighty Number 9
Yeah.
and Shattered Soul or something. Who made the first Castlevania games?
Oh, it's the. I know what you're talking about.
And
Fuck,
he
I can't remember it.
And the trailer for it was him just dressing up like a goth vampire or something, like a toned down vampire.
I'm gonna look up the name of that game.
But then there was
I
also
backed it, so
yeah. Is it coming out soon?
it's maybe one day.
What's his name? Keiji Inafune.
Keiji Inafune is the
Yeah,
guy. Right?
they made those pitches where it's like they were doing a grassroots thing and they were connecting to the people who played those games in the first place, and they're like, help me build this. Help me build, remake the old days.
Yeah, like I said, that's it. They came up, they were like, you like Mega Man. We like Mega Man.
Let's make
We
Mega Man.
want to make
It's
a
the same
Mega
thing
Man
with
game.
Banjo-Kazooie, Ukulele.
It's Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
That makes sense. And, well, it sucks because, like, Mighty Number 9, garbage.
It's because, and that's one of the biggest things about it. If a game came out and it sucked, it would be like, that's sort of a letdown. But the thing about Mighty Number 9 was that it reached out to you. It's literally like, it's like voting for a politician that turned around and stabbed you in the back.
This can go back to Mass Effect Andromeda, where it's like, we're making the new Mass Effect game. And it's like, hey, the fans are like, you really messed up with this Mass Effect game, but we want to see more Mass Effect. And EA's like, huh?
We're done.
You don't like Mass Effect? Okay, we're done with Mass Effect. And it's like, that's not what we said. You guys messed up, but we still want more.
That's the biggest thing, is that so often in and I'm not even sure if this is true. So often in Eastern developers, there's none of that huge disconnect between the players and the people.
Oh, there can be.
I mean, there can be, but it's not as bad as it is here.
Yeah, that's true. With Nintendo, there can be a disconnect because
It's a disconnect with our audience.
I don't know about... Okay. I want to see what Japanese players think about the current Paper Mario
Oh, yeah.
thing, because I can't, like...
Do they like it?
Do they like it? And it's like... Miyamoto walked in one day when they were making Super Paper Mario and was like, get rid of all the RPG elements. And the intelligence system was like, are you sure? And he's like,
are you positive?
do it. And it's like, okay, people really liked the 1,000-Year Door, but all right.
We'll try something different here. It's maybe can be read as an RPG, but it's like an action game.
Yeah, it's an action game. And then they're like, let's get the RPG elements back in, but there was that disconnect.
And it's the same kind of thing, like with the new products, that it was like that word meant a different thing in Japan than it did here. It meant nothing to us, but apparently it was like a hot buzzword in Japan.
Yeah.
But like over here, it's like a game comes out, and then developers are like, or developers make a game, and then the company is like, fuck it up. Fuck it all up, dude.
Yeah.
I'm talking DLC, I'm talking changes to be more marketable, I'm talking this and this and this. The higher you get up, the harder it is to make the game you want to make.
Yeah. Which I do like companies like Sony with how they're approaching things.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, we'll fund The Last Guardian. We'll take you on, Kojima. We'll make on the Uncharted series a story-driven game. It might have multiplayer, but that is not a big part of it.
Yeah.
We'll make The Last of Us.
They come out, and it's hard to trust corporations, obviously.
Yeah.
But whenever they come out, they're like, we genuinely want to make games.
They definitely did do that one Shenmue 3 Kickstarter. Sony, the company.
Yeah, that was it.
Which, yeah, that sucks.
Like, you can just make the game.
Yeah.
But it's like...
I get, from a certain standpoint, I can see why they did it. What I think they should have done was just make a straw poll.
And see how much people wanted it.
Hey guys, how much would you want? But at the same time, you can't
judge straw polls.
You can't guarantee a buyer from a straw poll
That's
vote.
the biggest thing about Kickstarter, is that you can just like confirm that you are getting these buyers.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing.
You can confirm buyers while also making sure that your game is desired.
Yeah. You know that there's people who are going to want your game because, hey, look at these people who want your game.
Yeah, Kickstarter's good. I don't know if Sony should have done it.
Oh, absolutely not. They're a corporation. They have the money to fund games. But people really wanted Shenmue 3. So I guess...
Just use this actual nail clipper.
There's no knife in it.
Oh, you're trying to use a sharp edge?
Yeah. We've had this conversation before. But whenever Sony does come out, they're like, hey, look at these games you've got. And they're all legitimate games. They're like, we want you to have a good experience on our console. It's always sort of different than Microsoft's, hey, most powerful console, most powerful
for
games.
The gamers.
And it's like, I don't care about a powerful console for powerful games. I want to play games.
So Microsoft really tapped into that market with the Xbox 360, and PS3 was still trying to do what it wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which, good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
PS3 had some knockout games, some good games.
Oh yeah, unquestionably.
But Xbox, they lost the plot. They didn't realize what the gamers were wanting.
They didn't... It was a different time. There was a big spike in, like, gaming and, like...
Online shooters and stuff.
Yeah, online shooters and stuff. And then, like, it feels like... I mean, I guess we've grown up. But it feels like the gaming market as a whole has changed.
Yeah, and it's changed for the worse. I feel like... Western... Okay, the problem with things right now is we have a mobile gaming market right now, but it's on consoles.
Yeah.
So developers now have failed to adapt to the growing trend in mobile games. Like, surprise, surprise, Japan is bringing another trend over to here with Treasure Cruise, Kingdom Hearts. I think Shadow of Mordor has done it well with Shadow of War, the mobile game.
Yeah.
Which, hey, people enjoy it. They'll play it.
But it's like it's cash.
It's cash. And that helps. You don't need to make a mobile game on the console. You don't need to make this loot system.
Yeah. But you ready for me to bring it all back?
Oh, yeah?
So you said it's changed for the worse. But one of the best things that we can do now is that we can change things for the better. It is easier than ever before to start making your own games. There are so many tools and resources out there where you can use them and start making your dreams a reality.
Yeah.
And so many games like that. And I mean, Kickstarter, we've talked at length about what Kickstarter does, but it's a good resource for that kind of thing. And like, one of the biggest games that came out recently was Undertale, which was just like the love project of one person.
Who started by making a mod for Earthbound.
Yeah. You can take inspiration. The people who are taking inspiration from games of the past are growing up and making their own things now. And trying to put their own changes into the games that they love. You get a lot of things that are like, this is the same thing that we've already seen before, it's just redoing it over and over. But, I mean, sometimes things change for the better.
Yeah.
You just gotta change it yourself.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a different trend. Now that the people who used to make games are going more corporate, the people who played those people's games are just making games now.
Yeah.
I suppose it's one of those things where I don't know why I said that. I had no thread of conversation.
It's funny that this episode is called Talking At Your Dick, and we've gotten to like a real view of like the gaming industry and like how time works.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end it off on a weird political note.
Yeah.
So I was reading this thing the other day, and it was like, so net neutrality began the steps to getting repealed.
Yeah.
After the Supreme Court decision, and there's been a whole thing about like, hey, you can call your senators like all you want and beg for them to let you keep your rights, but it's not gonna work. And it's like, all right, so what do we do? And it's like, you gotta... this was a post I saw online. It was like, we have to set up a new society with like this and this and this and this. And I was like, great idea in theory. That is not the step they were looking for. Yeah. And it's like, so what do we do to get there? And it's like, in order to get there, we have to set up the society that cares about everybody and is working to bring up the communities. And it's like, but what do we do to get...
Yeah, how do we
get there? What do we... That's so big. That's like... Obviously, that's the end game. That's everybody's end game. Do you want us to go revolution now?
I mean, right now the FCC is the only one that voted for it.
I mean, like, it lost in the Supreme Court.
It just did?
I think that was the... There were 5 people who voted on it, and it lost 3-2.
Ugh.
But then the Senate put up a bill to keep it in place. So.
Okay.
It's a whole thing.
I wish, like... And this can be a negative as well as a positive, but, like, with the net neutrality right now, if people have tried, like, 3 times to repeal it,
Yeah.
and it fails every time, maybe take that off of the ballot.
You're not allowed to do this anymore.
You're not allowed to do it anymore. You keep putting it up and it keeps getting shot down. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, like, you can't just keep trying it with every new administration.
Also, the will of one should not influence the many.
Yeah, seriously. I don't give a fuck what Comcast thinks.
Yeah.
It's also so funny. There was like Ted Cruz tweeted about it, and he was like, all these people hate neutrality. They don't even know what they're arguing for. And somebody commented and was like, we can see that Comcast, like, paid you a bunch of money, right?
Yeah.
You know that contribution is public? You fucking idiot.
It's like... Politicians, at some point, where do they think they get to do they get to a point where they just think they're better than us?
Like, what is the plan?
Like a Republican who has fucking done the worst things. Even a Democrat who has done the worst things.
Yeah.
Like, they get up on that podium and they're like, look at all these people who are below me.
Yeah, it's
That's not right.
How do you get to that point in your life where you stop fighting for people and you start fighting for corporations? It's also one of the things that... Why the fuck do people do that? Why do people just, like, online be like, defend corporations?
They don't need it.
You never, ever need to do that. Not once do you need to do that.
Yeah.
Because corporations aren't people. They don't need your help. They have billions of dollars.
Yeah.
They don't need you to do this for them. People who are like...
They'll tell you themselves.
People who are like defending Comcast and stuff about net neutrality is like, fucking why?
Yeah.
Literally, why are you doing this?
They do not care about your opinion.
Yeah.
They are doing this to make more money.
Yeah, they're literally doing it to be worse for everybody. I don't understand. Anyways, that's the weird political spot we can end this episode on. Let's get some jokes here at the very end of the second.
Do you think the game developers are like, oh, wait, if net neutrality drops, we'll just fucking lose everything? Like, YouTube as a like, right now, being an internet entertainer...
Being anything on the internet.
...is such a dangerous thing to do. Like, oh, I might just lose half my audience because...
They're not gonna pay more.
They're 13-year-old children whose parents do not want to pay for YouTube.
Or I'm not gonna pay more to the internet provider so I can keep the top speeds up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny too. It's like Comcast is like, we're never gonna throttle rates. We're never gonna slow anything down.
And then they took that down immediately.
And it's also like, then so we're not going to, but let us. We won't, but let us have it. Let us do it.
Let us try that.
Like, we won't do it.
Give us the absolute power to do it, though.
Yeah, like, give us the power to do it, like, as a goof.
Yeah.
It'll be a goof. We'll see what happens.
All these
Nobody knows what'll happen.
fucking ideas. These are just ideas. Comcast is nothing but an idea that is trying to control people, which is so weird to think.
It's also one of the... and they make all those bots to, like, vote for positive, like, get rid of net neutrality things, and it's just like, this is so fucking bizarre. We live in, like, the worst goddamn timeline.
It's 2017, dude. Anything can happen.
We are steps away from them actually reanimating people's corpses.
What?
Because, like, you've seen the posts online where it's like, the bots steal people's names and stuff.
Oh.
And they use names of people who are dead.
Yeah.
And of Barack Obama. Like, they're just, like, stealing actual people's names, and it's so fucked. Just, like, a weird goddamn...
Yeah, the internet has gotten very weird.
And can you believe the people still defend them over this? These bots exist just to fight back against them. People who are like, Comcast is actually good?
No. Fuck off.
It's also, it proves that capitalism can't work, because we're at, like, such a goddamn mess of it, because it's like, oh, well, if Comcast fails... or if Comcast isn't doing it for you, why don't you make your own internet?
Can
With
I?
your own internet provider.
Fucker.
Take out a loan of several $1 billion. Also, the part where we pay the FCC like $1 billion to set up wires all across the country to get better internet, and that never happened. Just didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Just did not happen.
They just fucking took our money.
Hold on, let me check. Let me look it up real quick.
This is a weird thing to be talking about.
On the podcast?
Yeah.
We're a video game podcast. I mean, net neutrality relates to video games a lot.
Yeah. And it'll impact developers a lot. Like, oh, I can't market on the internet anymore.
Yeah, like it just...
This is thrilling.
Yeah, dude, I'm Googling as fast as I can.
So, the repeal of net neutrality is really like a weird thing to think about. Like, it's gone through so many times that I'm numb to the whole situation.
Yeah.
That, like, now that, like, it's developing differently, I'm just sort of like, oh, I don't know how to react to this. Like, I got all worked up the times it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's hard to keep... It's so shitty that we have to keep fighting for it.
Yeah, I don't understand why people are like, well, everyone's really annoyed about it, but what if we do this again?
The Book of Broken Promises, 400 billion broadband scandal, and free the net. Is it a video? I'm not gonna... Oh, there it is.
What?
By the end of 2014, America will have been charged about $400 billion by the local phone incumbents Verizon, AT&T, and CenturyLink for a fiber optic future that never showed up. And though it varies by state, counting the taxes, fees, and surcharges that you have paid every month, many of these fees are actually revenues to the company or taxes on the company that you paid. Comes to about $4,000, $5,000 per household from 1992 to 2014,
Jeez.
And that's the low number. You were also charged about 9 times to wire the schools and libraries via state and federal plans designed to help the phone and cable companies. It doesn't bother you by the year end of 2010, based on the commitments made by phone companies and their press statements, filings on the state and federal level, and the state-based alternative regulation plans that were put in place to charge you for broadband upgrades on the telephone company wire in your home, business, and as well as the schools and libraries. America should have been the world's first fully fibered, leading-edge broadband nation. So yeah.
Hey, here's an idea. Why don't you make a phone company that's just the same base rate? That's just the government.
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't... It's so hands-off. It's such a lazy thing to do. Like, for the government as a whole to be like, we can't do this. Let's have our people be subject to constant bombardment of this shit.
It's the kind of... I mean, that's just the American way.
Yeah.
So, we have plenty of necessities in life. Food, home, the internet, information, healthcare. A car is basically a necessity in this time and age, depending on where you live, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Every single one of these things is priced like a luxury. You can count education as a sixth one, if you want to. It didn't used to be a necessity, but now it basically is.
Yep.
It's so ironic that back in the day you didn't need an education to really make it in the world. And you could get it easily, but now that you do need it to make it in the world, it's so fucking expensive. So every single one of these things is a necessity, but you just basically have to sell your soul away to loans. You're basically going to be paying for the rest of your life. And we're just like, that's fine. That's how the world works.
Why do we have a society that's like, hey, loans are the main way of progress in your life?
It's like, need to buy a house? Get a loan. Need to buy a car? Get a loan. And it's like, I need both of those things, right? I need these things? And it's like, you do, absolutely, 100%. And it's like, so why are they so fucking expensive? And it's like, you're paying for it forever. And then it's like, healthcare, food, that stuff, like, I need that to be alive, so, like, you're helping me with that, right? And it's like, maybe, if you're that poor. Otherwise... Even then, like, bare minimum, fucker. And don't buy anything good with that, because we'll see you, and people will know, and they'll make fun of you for it.
Yeah.
That's so goddamn inherently malicious. Like, people on Fox News being like, you bought a lobster with your food stamps? Look at you, Mr. Big Bucks. And it's like, fuck, leave. Is this really what you should be focusing on? Fucking billionaires have 7 houses. Look at that. Look at that.
Mr. Big Bucks, who's funding my news company.
Oh, can't say anything about them. Amazon is like, what's Jeff Bezos?
Oh, the
CEO of Amazon. He's like, oh, he's a literal billionaire, but if we say anything bad about him, he won't put his building in our town and literally single-handedly save our economy.
That's how it always goes. It literally, like the tire industry, it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah.
We
are capitalism, or at least, I mean, I'm not. Capitalism as a whole, fuckers, is inherently like unsustainable. But here we are, because it's the best. That one headline that's like, we can't figure out why people are working more, but wages aren't going up, and it's like, you can't figure it out. You can't figure out, you have a whole news crew in there, you can't figure it out. None of you smart guys can figure it out. Anyone could tell you. Anybody could tell you. It's not that hard.
I was talking with our dad about this earlier today. I was like, yeah, anyone who's a millionaire or a billionaire is not a good person.
Inherently.
And it's like, they're going to be an actor, an actress, whatever. I mean, actors and actresses, maybe not, that doesn't...
It's hard, I mean...
It's hard to look at every single person, but I'm talking about, like, CEOs and shit. Because, like...
specifically.
I heard a story about Bill Gates, who right now has a charity going. Earlier in his lifetime, he was like, oh, I'm the fucking creator of Microsoft. No one can touch me.
Yeah.
And it's like, he had to get, like, spiked by the law to be like, oh, I'm a good person.
It's the kind of thing that it's, I feel like I had something to say. But people who, when billionaires and stuff start up charities and, like, start donating money, it's still, like, nothing to them. Mm-hmm. When you have $1 billion, you could give away $100,000 every day for the rest of your life and never even, like, see it. You'd be like, oh, did I do that?
Because you have your hand in so many other ways to make money.
Yeah. Even, like, actors and stuff. It's hard to... So, obviously, CEOs are the worst one. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. And when it's, like, a fucking huge business is, like, accused of wage theft and, like, literally, like, not paying people enough.
Why?
And they get fined for, like, $400 even though they stole, like, $4.3 million from people. And it's like, huh, that seems
return the money.
And then somebody fucking robs a bank and they're in jail forever. Like, period. And it's like, alright. They didn't even, like, steal nearly as much money as that person did.
Yeah.
From the hardworking Americans that we care about? Do we care about them?
Yeah. Like, our dad was like, well, I mean, if you work harder than the guy next to you, of course you're going to get up. And then I was like, yeah, but what happens when you become that guy's boss and then you work him into exhaustion?
Yeah.
Because that's when you stop being a hardworking American and just an asshole.
There is no... So you do the math, right? You do the math with how much these CEOs make, and it's like, they're making like $1 billion, or they're making like $100,000 like an hour. And it's like, there is no physical way to work that hard. And it's like, you think CEOs currently work harder than people who have like 2 jobs?
Yeah.
They absolutely fucking do not. 100% they do not. There are people in our country with 3 jobs. They're holding down like a bunch of different careers, and they have to make ends meet. And you think CEOs work harder than them? You're out of your mind.
Yeah.
You're a goddamn idiot. Why would you fight for this system? If you're not making $1 million, if you're making less than $100,000 a year, do not fight for this system. No part of you should be like, this system has worked for me. You're not going to take away my moderately sized house and car that I haven't been able to afford getting fixed for a while. And it's like, no one is trying to, you moron.
Yeah.
Obviously no one is trying to.
You know what's a funny thing? Like, after we upload this episode, and the one person and the 2 people that have been watching is like, I didn't like it when you got political.
I didn't like it when you got political.
What's the time at?
We're at 6 hours.
I've gotten 3 emails for you, and he's just like, stop talking about it.
What hour are we at?
We're at 40, almost 45 minutes.
All right, let's talk about ending it there.
Okay, real quick. I feel like I was going to say something. No, I have no idea.
You have nothing left to lose but your chains.
That got really dark.
Dude,
We talked about someone dropping a depth charge of their fetish into the Twitter sphere.
This episode is still called Talking At Your Dick.
It's still talking out your dick because right now we're talking out our dick, but political.
But political. Man, like... And the big insidious thing about it is we can't fucking do anything about it. We're gonna have a goddamn revolution?
If we look at... If fucking this... people have been taught to trust CEOs, and that's the worst thing that we've been taught to do.
Seriously. People who are like fucking 60 and 70, and they're like going to retire, and they're still like, man, it's gonna be sweet when I hit it big, and it's like, it's so sad that you think that.
Who's retiring?
Our previous generation.
They're not.
Oh.
Because
they're working themselves.
Because they got hit with it. They got hit with what the CEOs want them to think.
Man, I can't.
They lost it. They lost what they were about to do.
Ugh.
Our grandfather is now retiring.
I mean, that's his choice. He's like choosing to not
I guess
retire.
that's true.
And that's the biggest thing too, is that like people just aren't choosing to retire, and either they can't afford to or they don't want to. And because they're not retiring, there's less jobs to go around, and it's just like it's a whole goddamn cycle.
It's because humans as a being, they want something to do.
And it's like,
and because I was thinking about this, like, where's that stage in life where I realize, where I really hope I don't get to it, and I realize I haven't done anything with my life.
That's the thing I'm so fucking scared about.
Like, I get to my 70s, and I'm like, oh, what have I done?
I'm so scared of being there. Like, I've been at work recently, and like a couple people have retired, and a couple people have gotten their like 40 or 50 year anniversaries there.
Oh my god.
And it's just like, that's so long. I can't believe you've been here this long. Like, more than twice when I've been alive.
That's why I want to become professional podcasters or become a YouTuber, because they, more than anyone, I feel like, gets those letters like, hey, you helped me out of this spot.
Oh, man. More than anything, I just want to, like, reach out to somebody. I want them to see... Like, I want them to feel the thing that I feel when I open up videos and I'm like, new video by this person. Awesome. That's, like, all I want in life.
Like, I've never been touched more than the ending of Critical Role, and spoilers for the ending of Critical Role. Vax dies, the rogue paladin. He has to make a deal with his god in order to keep going and fighting the good fight, and then at the end of the good fight, she whisks him away in front of his whole family when they've just defeated it, and then it's like, oh, our future is right now. We get to live. And he has to leave, and he leaves behind his girlfriend, who he was about to spend the rest of his life with until he sent her off to become an immortal druid god or something. Because that's how that works, because it's D&D. And she just has to live with that. She ends up becoming alone and sad. And that got to me because I was like, oh, that's me.
I don't want to, like...
I don't want to get to that.
I want to make, like, a joke here, but, like, I
Yeah.
feel like that's in poor taste.
Yeah? What do you want to say?
Like, what if the crow came by and she was fucking, dude?
I mean, that's a thing to think. Well, part of me also, at the time, I was struggling with some real dark thoughts. And I was like, would anyone miss me? And then that happened.
Right, and it was like, oh.
And that got me into the darkest part. And I was like, life moves on, and the people that do care about you never stop caring about you.
It's...
Because the two people, well, multiple people, that were like Vax's sister, Keyleth, Vax's girlfriend, and like everyone, some of the people, they kept trying to find ways to bring Vax back. And it's like, you never stop leaving an impact on people's lives.
Yeah.
And I think people need to realize that. I think people need to have more emotional connections with more people. Because I feel like CEOs haven't.
I read that thing. Like, the more money you have, like, the more detached you are from just, like, society as a whole. You're just, like, Notch is a great example.
Yeah.
Notch makes some shitty fucking posts online, dude. Like, I'm always, like, I found a woman and she was, like, she wanted somebody more normal than I was.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm always sitting around waiting for people to be done with their things so I can, like, hang out with them again. And it's like, Notch, shut the fuck up, dude.
People really liked you, Notch, when you were streaming Minecraft updates.
You're like a garbage man.
But not a garbage man because he's rich.
A man made of garbage.
Yeah.
Not a garbage man who are the backbone of our society.
Oh, absolutely.
And
are, like, the nicest people.
yeah.
And that shows something. But
Everybody needs to eat a slice of humble pie sometimes.
yeah, but then at sometimes you also need to realize that you mean more to people than you can realize.
Right. But that's what eating the slice of humble pie is about.
Yeah.
Once you learn where you are and where you stand, you see what you mean to different people.
You see what you can do.
And that's part of the thing about, looping it back to the part where we talked about video games. When you genuinely make a game that people enjoy, you're going to see people enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
When you make a game to make a profit, that's just going to be
But then you
it.
make Mighty Number 9.
And you see what happens.
Yeah.
People wanted this game. That game got torn down. They burned that game from the rafters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's video games.
That's video games.
Confirmed. I was your host, Ben.
I was your host, William.
The Oreos were fine.
They're Oreos. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.
Yeah, comment on us
And
your
more
political
podcasts.
theory about how sustainable you think capitalism is.
Oh, let's hear it.
Don't.
Those 2 viewers didn't like this episode.
Yeah, 2 viewers. Give me a fucking critical analysis of this podcast.
Bye, guys.